Buenas gente, ¿cómo están? Estamos aquí con un nuevo para el canal y esta vez les traigo este juegazo que nos cuenta una historia sobre un pueblito muy bonito. Los invito a que se suscriban y que me sigan y que compartan para más vídeos de juegos diferentes. Sin nada más que decir, vamos por ello. Mata un pato. Son focas. Pues si no nos pasa que yo llevando focas.
Kisaima panegnea sebut. Nibeaksiagaluk kisaima isummekpok. Tabrasi kangitsagoaksiga summan anukhlisuguruku magan. Summan anukhlingaaliaga magan. Tabrasi kangitsagoaksiga summan anukhlisuguruku magan.
A ver.
Anukhlik pailluni suniraganaitsiqunni. Tabrani beaksiagalualuk ayungitsoq.
Ay. ¿Cómo es que se encontró en peligro? ¿Qué pasó? ¡Ah! ¡Un oso! ¡No! ¡No! ¡Corre! ¡La NASA corra! ¿Qué hace osote? ¡Corra, niña! ¡Corra! Vamos a correr. Saltar. De momento está fácil. Un tipo de persianas o bolitas. Uy, pero ese oso que... No. Ay, no, me caí. ¿Qué es eso por allá? Eso es un zorro. Sí, es un zorro. Corre. Ah, que se cae ahí. Uy, no, casi. Sí. Ay, otra vez el zorro. Corra. Ay. No, que me va a comer, no. Ay. Ya perdimos. Nuestro salvador. Es que jugar en modo cooperativo, siendo que yo estoy solito. A ver, manejemos al zorrito, pues. A ver, por la Q. Vamos a hacerle PvP al oso. Tocará hacerle PvP. Vení. Corre, salta. Buena. ¡Que me come gay!
Tokutawayaktok kisimriome. Arraannapkangapiaktok.
Oh, es que se volvieron amiguitos de la nada. Qué lindo. El tiempo no solo lo mejoró, sino que tras la ventisca se produjo aún otra más. Es que me dan ganas de narrar. Va a ser la traducción, espera y verás. Ay. La niña juega con el zorro, divertidísima en la nieve, preparándose otra vez para su aventura. No me va bien esto. Vamos, sigamos adelante. Está chévere el juego. Zorro ártico, ¿cómo así? Vamos a ver eso. ¿Eso qué era? A ver. ¡Ah! Es como un videito. ¿Qué es todos esos videos? Vamos al del zorrito, vamos al del zorrito. Faltan desbloquear demasiados. 20, exactamente. A ver el del zorrito. Ay, qué bonito.
When I was growing up, my grandpa had a pet white fox. If you're a good friend with a fox, when there's danger abound, they try to keep you from getting into trouble.
Se debe más a llorar, son
They
muy lindos.
pull tricks here and there, and foxes are like spoiled little kids in a way. When you let her out, she'd go prancing out in the snow, jumping in the air. I know she was happy then. Come running at me and jump on my chest, knock me backwards, lick my face, and I try not to let her. So that was my memory of my grandpa's pet fox.
Oh, qué bonito. Bueno, sigamos. Zorro, escalar pared como... Ah, vea pues. Yo creo que será un juego cooperativo, pero lo jugué solito. Jijijiji. Ay, una ventisca. Uy, uy, uy. Espera a ver si aparece otra vez. No, me están troleando, vamos, sigamos. Vamos, vamos. Proteger del viento, ¿cómo así? Ah, ya me tengo que agachar. Está bien. Eh. Agáchate, agáchate. ¡Ah! Está tan duro ese viento, ajá. Ya pues. Otro búho, yo creo que ese es otro relato, ¿no? Cada vez que hay un búho es como un relato. ¡Ay! Casi se cae el zorro, no. La chica comprendió que existen espíritus que nos ayudan. Y ese zorro especial mostró a la chica cuán preciosos eran esos espíritus. Vea pues. Otro. Sia tiene alma. A ver, parkour. Ahora con la niña. No, no llego. Eso... A ver. Ayudaron entre sí, perdón, se me olvidó mi... Vaya, no sé cómo lo consiguieron. Se me olvidó pero lograron regresar a la aldea. Se me olvidó mi rol de narrador. I'm sorry. Uy, ese zorro hasta que se cae. A ver, ese zorro, ¿no? Sí, tiene que pasar por ahí porque esta niña no salta tanto. Bueno, yo creo que es por abajo mejor. Abajo y aquí hay que hacer mero parkour. Izquierda, derecha, ahí quedó. Y vámonos, dejemos a la niña sola. Ah, no, no. Hay que guiar a los espíritus, ok. Hay que caer para abajo. Yo creo que es con el zorrito. Pero sí, es con el zorro. Ya, ahora sí. Salta, niña, salta. Bueno. ¡Piu! ¡Ay! Casi me caigo ahí. Oh. A ver, zorrito, rápido, zorrito. No, 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 no. Ah. Vuelve a saltar. A ver, esperemos. Otra vez. Agáchate, agáchate, agáchate. Así, vuelve a saltar. Agáchate. Niña, súbete, súbete, niña. Estar ahí, zorro, salta. Bueno, esperar por si las moscas. Aparece el otro, saltamos. Salta otra vez. No, es en serio. No. Bueno, hay que volverlo a hacer. No, no funciona, funciona. No, se cae la niña, se cae la niña. Me estoy pegando algo más raro acá. Ahora sí, sigamos. Avancemos. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? Uy, 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 ¿qué pasó? Oh no, oh no. Ok, sigamos, sigamos. ¿Qué pasaría? Ya tengo una inquietud. Estoy preocupado por la niña. Pueblo vivo, me gustaría escuchar una historia. Bueno, vamos a escuchar esas historias y ya los dejaría.
It'd be busy, busy, busy all through the day. You get up
Uy.
and you just go right to work, you know? Right to work.
There was always something to do. There was never any idle time. The only idle time we had was after we eat and before we go to bed.
One of the older people would just be relaxing, laying down there and saying, you know, it'd be really nice to hear a story. And then just organically, someone would just start telling a story.
Storytelling for the Nupiaq people is very important because it not only created that sense of community, but is a way to pass on wisdom to the next generation.
It was like TV, you know? It was just like, it was as good as anything, any movie you've ever seen. And the storyteller told it so clearly that it was just as powerful as any of the greatest movie blockbusters you've ever seen.
There was a reason behind the stories that we were told because they held traditional knowledge. They held things that we might need to know in life, whether it was about how to find food or how to survive, or it was about well-being and the importance of connecting with people and being a good member of the community.
We all do stories. We all live in stories. We all tell stories to our friends. And they need to be told. They need to be heard.
Si quieren la segunda parte, suscríbanse y compartan. Les dejo a los otros bebitos para que los escuchen conmigo. Hasta luego.
So scrimshaw is this really beautiful method of art that's done either on baleen or ivory, and traditionally it was used to tell stories.
Each etching is telling a story of some event. Caribou hunting was taking place. This is what was going on. War began around this time, and so it sort of gives you a timeline of history through etching.
An elder or the person who carved it would literally be able to read the scrimshaw story.
They're like reading a book, in a way.
A lot of the storytelling traditions would be things that after the storytelling was done, we'd just rely on the next person telling it. And so scrimshaw is a very important way for Alaskan Native people to record their history.
Caribou it provided for us in many ways.
Our clothing in those days was made of all caribou skin.
I grew up wearing caribou pants, mittens, caribou skin mattress, blankets.
Some people had boots that were made with wolf leggings, sealskin sole bottoms. Baleen was shaved to make insoles. They kept us quite dry and warm as well. But the caribou skin clothing was the best. We would get as many yearlings as we could for our outer clothing. And for a heavy winter, we would get caribou in February or March because the hair was the longest and the skin was the thickest, and we would use those for our winter gear. With that stuff on, you could sleep outside in 50 below and it wouldn't bother you a bit.
Silla is the weather. It also means the atmosphere. Here's the nuna, or the land. And it's anything from the land into the moon, the sun, the stars. That's Silla.
It's a very spiritual, and we have a relationship with Silla. Silla has a soul in the same way we do as people, in the same way animals do.
I think spirit helpers in and of themselves are really about how we're connected with things. And so it may be that there's a spirit helper that shows themselves as a bird to show you the way home, or it may be a spirit helper that actually decides to show themselves with the face and body of a man instead of their animal form. And so I think one of the things that's hard to understand is that it's not one way of seeing things, it's one way of knowing you're connected to everything.
We've always had that spirituality of everything around us.
It's the interaction you have with the air you breathe, the ocean that you gather resources from, the rivers from which you gather fish, the tundra from which you pick berries, the animals that give themselves. It's all of that.
In the winter, when we were traveling, we didn't build sod houses, we built snow houses. In Canada, they call them igloo, but here in Alaska, we call them apuyak. We'd do a day of travel, and then we'd make a apuyak. The next day, my father would set traps, spend the day there, rest the dogs, give them something to eat, and then the following day, we continue to the next place. We'd go to my dad's sister, who had a house at Dubarg. They had a small sod house over there. We didn't have to do anything. We just visit with them, and my dad and my sister were glad to see each other, and they'd talk away while us kids played outside or go to sleep. By the time we get back to our home, My father would leave us with our aunt or with my grandmother, and then he'd start on his trips and go check his trap line. We were not into 8 to 5 kind of time, you know. We're in a total different kind. We're in ecological time.